You are not okay, and deep down you know it. Look around you, the chaos in your life, the missed opportunities, the relationships crumbling at the edges. These aren't accidents, these are symptoms. The world doesn't need another broken person pretending to have it all together. It needs you, the real you, but only once you've done the hard work of putting your own house in order. Because here's the cold truth. If you don't fix yourself now, one day you'll wake up and realize the damage is beyond repair, and no one is coming to save you. We live in an era that rewards blame. If something goes wrong, it's someone else's fault: your parents, your upbringing, society, the system. But that narrative keeps you weak. The first step to fixing yourself is radical responsibility. That doesn't mean everything is your fault, but everything in your life is your problem. You might not have caused your wounds, but it's your job to heal them. No one else will do it. If your life is in disorder, your habits, your mindset, your emotions, that disorder isn't waiting for permission to destroy you. It's already working on it. Fixing yourself means waking up every day and asking, what can I take ownership of today? Responsibility is the path back to power. People say they want to be happy. What they really mean is they want to avoid pain. But fulfillment, deep, meaningful, soul-anchoring fulfillment, doesn't come from comfort. It comes from discipline, from doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. The disciplined man or woman says no to the easy path because they've seen what that path leads to: addiction, regret, stagnation. The undisciplined life is a slow suicide. You fix yourself by choosing discipline over dopamine, structure over chaos, long-term growth over short-term gratification. And the more you honor that path, the more you realize you were never broken. You were just undisciplined. We're obsessed with changing the world, politics, institutions, social movements. But you don't even know what's growing under your own bed. You haven't cleaned your thoughts, your conscience, or your soul. And still, you want to change others. That's not leadership. That's arrogance. The most dangerous man is not the one who can shout the loudest, it's the one who's fought his inner demons and won. Fixing yourself means confronting what's rotten in your character. It means confronting your lies, your envy, and your resentment. Only when you've wrestled with your darkness can you walk into the world with integrity, not ideology. That's how you become useful to the world. There is no pause button on life. Every moment you delay the work of self-improvement, you lose ground. You don't have infinite time, and the older you get, the harder it becomes to turn the ship around. Your habits will harden, your beliefs will fossilize, your regrets will multiply. The pain of discipline now is nothing compared to the pain of looking back at a life wasted. Fixing yourself now is the most urgent thing you can do. Don't wait until your marriage collapses. Don't wait until your health gives out. Don't wait until you're alone with a bottle, wondering what happened. Do it now, or you'll wish you had. We live in a world that trains us to externalize blame. When something goes wrong, the knee-jerk reaction is to point outward. Maybe it's your childhood, your parents, the government, the economy, your ex, or the system that seems rigged against you. And while some of those things may be real obstacles, they are not the root of your problem. You are, until you recognize that uncomfortable truth, nothing will change. The moment you convince yourself that you're just a victim of your circumstances, you surrender your power to those very circumstances. You become passive, you become bitter, and worst of all, you become stagnant. Radical responsibility doesn't mean you are to blame for everything that has happened in your life. It means you are responsible for how you respond. It means you can no longer afford to use your past as a crutch. There are people who have been through unimaginable trauma and still stood up, straightened their back, and chose to live with purpose. The difference between someone who stays broken and someone who begins to heal is this: one keeps waiting for the world to be fair, the other starts fixing what they can themselves. Taking responsibility is not a warm, fuzzy concept. It's brutal. It requires that you look at your own contribution to your problems. It forces you to admit that maybe you've been lazy, that maybe you've allowed fear to rule your decisions, that maybe you've tolerated things you shouldn't have. That maybe, just maybe, you've lied to yourself for so long that you started believing the lie, and no one wants to admit that, but that's where real change begins. When you embrace full responsibility, something shifts. You stop seeing yourself as a puppet and start acting like a player. You start seeing your body, your time, your relationships, and your mind as things under your domain. You become a steward of your own life. You stop saying, "I can't help it," and start saying, "What can I do about it?" That question, simple, honest, and uncomfortable, is the birthplace of personal power. No savior is coming. No external solution will fix an internal problem. Until you own your life, you'll always feel like it belongs to someone else. So the first and most essential act of fixing yourself is this: take responsibility, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now, discipline is not a punishment. It is not a harsh burden meant to rob you of joy. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It is the clearest signal that you value your own potential enough to govern your actions, control your impulses, and sacrifice ease for excellence. The person who lives without discipline might feel free, but it's an illusion. They are enslaved by their whims, ruled by emotion, and pulled in every direction by whatever is easiest or most pleasurable in the moment. That kind of freedom always ends in regret. When you decide to live with discipline, you are making a powerful declaration: "I am in charge of me." That means you get up when your alarm rings, not when your feelings say it's convenient. You go to the gym when your body tells you to rest, because you've decided that your long-term health matters more than your momentary comfort. You study when you'd rather scroll. You speak truth when silence would be easier. And each time you choose the harder path, you reinforce a truth: your goals are not optional, and neither is your character. Discipline builds dignity. It creates a structure within you that others can rely on, that you can rely on. It makes you dependable. You no longer need motivation or ideal circumstances. You have something stronger, internal order. You become someone who does what must be done, not just what feels good, and that is rare. Most people today are soft. They're victims of distraction, slaves to convenience, and addicted to comfort. Discipline makes you different. It makes you sharp. It gives you backbone in a spineless world. But discipline isn't glamorous. It's quiet, often lonely and thankless in the beginning. No one claps for you when you wake up at 5 a.m. to read, or when you skip the party to work on your craft. But the rewards come later in the clarity of your mind, the strength of your will, and the pride of becoming who you said you would be. Eventually, people will call you lucky, gifted, or exceptional. Let them. You'll know the truth. You were disciplined. Without discipline, you are not living, you are drifting. You'll waste your talent, poison your time, and betray your future self. The cost of a soft, undisciplined life isn't just missed opportunity, it's inner decay. And if you want to fix yourself before it's too late, discipline must. There's a dangerous illusion that many people fall into, the idea that the world must change before their lives can improve. That if society were more fair, if politics were more honest, if others were more understanding, then everything would finally be okay. But this mindset is a trap. It pulls your attention outward, away from the only thing you actually have control over: yourself. If your internal world is in chaos, filled with resentment, lies, jealousy, procrastination, and fear, no amount of external change will save you. You'll keep dragging that chaos into every relationship, every opportunity, and every new beginning. You can't change the world effectively until you've done the hard work of cleaning your inner house. And most people are terrified to look inward because they know what they'll find: unresolved guilt, selfish motives, a trail of broken promises, and years of excuses. But that is where the real work begins. Fixing yourself means identifying what is toxic within you, not out there, and confronting it honestly. It means acknowledging your own role in your suffering. It means facing the uncomfortable truth that your biggest enemy might not be the world, but the version of you that refuses to grow up. You've met people who are loud about justice but bitter in their hearts. People who fight for causes but can't control their own temper. People who want to fix the system but can't keep their own room clean. That's not virtue, that's projection. They haven't done the internal work, so they escape into activism, noise, and blame. The most stable, grounded, and impactful people in the world didn't get there by yelling louder. They got there by confronting their demons, mastering themselves, and emerging with a quiet strength that speaks louder than any slogan. You want to change your life, then change your thoughts, change your habits. Change the way you speak to yourself when no one's listening. Your inner world is the foundation of everything you build. If it's cracked, the structure of your life will keep collapsing no matter how beautifully you decorate the outside. Integrity, peace, and clarity are not found in social movements or public approval. They are earned in solitude, in quiet discipline, and in the relentless pursuit of personal truth. So look in the mirror. Not with self-hatred, but with courage, not to shame yourself, but to strip away delusion. If you truly want to make a difference in the world, start by mastering the battlefield within your own soul. That's where every real revolution begins. Time is slipping away. Whether you acknowledge it or not, the clock is always ticking, and every second you delay in fixing your life is a second you'll never get back. We tend to live as if we have unlimited chances, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if next week will always be there waiting, but it won't. One day you'll run out of time, and the harsh reality is that the longer you wait to change, the harder it becomes. Habits that are small today become chains tomorrow. Every compromise you make now becomes a debt you'll have to repay with interest. There is a kind of laziness that disguises itself as patience, the idea that you'll get around to improving once things settle down, once you're less stressed, once you feel more ready, but that moment never comes. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Life moves forward with or without your permission, and if you're not moving with it, you're falling behind. There's nothing noble about postponing change. It's not wisdom. It's fear, and fear unchallenged becomes your ruler. People who delay self-improvement often think they're playing it safe. In reality, they're gambling with everything that matters: their health, their relationships, their potential. They're betting that time will wait, that consequences will pause, that decay will slow down just for them, but it doesn't. The harsh truth is that every day you refuse to act, your problems don't stay still, they grow. The gap between who you are and who you could be widens, and if you let it grow too wide, eventually you'll stop believing that change is even possible. There will come a day, if you continue to put this off, when you'll look in the mirror and see a stranger. Someone who once had potential but chose comfort instead. Someone who could have built something meaningful but settled for distraction. That moment is heavier than any discomfort you'll feel from doing the work today. The pain of discipline is nothing compared to the agony of regret, and make no mistake, if you keep avoiding the hard work of fixing yourself, regret will find you, and when it does, it won't come with a warning. It will arrive quietly, and it will stay. So what are you waiting for? A sign. This is it. A second chance. You won't know until the last one has passed. The urgency to fix yourself isn't dramatic, it's practical. Because your time is limited, your life is precious, and every day wasted is a day you could have lived with purpose. In the end, the message is simple, but its implications are life-altering. You must take responsibility for your life before it breaks you. Waiting for someone to come and fix things is a fantasy. No mentor, no system, no institution can replace what only you can do for yourself. The chaos outside is merely a reflection of the chaos within. If your life is messy, if your days are unproductive, if your relationships are toxic, if your mind is restless, those are alarms, not accidents. They are signaling that something inside you demands attention. And the longer you ignore those alarms, the louder and more painful they become. Healing begins the moment you decide to stop running and start owning every piece of your life, the good, the broken, and the still unfinished. The transformation begins with responsibility. It is not a punishment, but a call to rise. You are not powerless. You are not destined to stay where you are. but you will remain stuck if you continue to shift the blame onto others or wait for ideal circumstances. The moment you say, "This is on me," you reclaim control, you gain clarity, you start seeing what needs to be done, not just what you feel like doing. That mental shift from victimhood to agency is the most powerful thing you can do for your growth. No one can hand you discipline, self-control, or courage. These must be forged by action, through struggle, repetition, and consistency. You must understand that the outer world will always reflect your inner world. If you want better circumstances, start with better character. If you want peace, clean the corners of your mind where resentment hides. If you want respect, build integrity. The world doesn't owe you healing, it rewards those who take the responsibility to heal themselves. When you do that, you not only improve your own life, but you also become a light in the darkness for others. You stop being part of the problem and start becoming part of the solution, not through noise, but through quiet strength, lived truth, and unshakable presence. That is how real impact begins, not with speeches or slogans, but with self-mastery. Time is the final force you cannot cheat. It is indifferent to your feelings, unmoved by your excuses, and merciless toward delay. The future you either inherit or suffer through will be determined by what you do now. This very moment is a crossroads. Continue drifting, or begin the disciplined journey of fixing yourself, not later, not next week, but today. The opportunity is still yours, but it won't always be, so wake up. Take the first step and do the work before it's too late. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this message. If this speech resonated with you, challenged you, or awakened something within you, then the mission is already in motion. Remember, real change begins with awareness, but it's fueled by consistent action. Don't let these words remain just inspiration. Let them become instruction. Let them guide your next step forward. If you found value in this content, feel free to share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your support helps spread messages that matter, messages that push people toward truth, discipline, and real growth. Every comment, like, and share keeps the momentum going. I'll continue bringing you raw, honest, and empowering content, but your journey is your own. Take what serves you, apply it relentlessly, and leave the rest behind. You're capable of far more than you think, but only if you begin now.